Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Spooky Friday, the 13th, 2022. We are here to go over the MLB main slate, which is a big fat 13 games at 7:05. So that is extremely exciting. How are you doing on this wonderful Friday, Mr. Josh Crash Davis?
I'm doing well. I just realized that I brought one of my wife's Kansas City Chiefs cups.
Oh no!
I'm drinking out of. So
we're gonna let those Packers guys know about this because you can't be doing that kind of Chief stuff. That's a bitter rivalry now all of a sudden.
Right. So I was trying to be careful about that. Actually, that's kind of funny. Just we'll use my Packers cups, but
Colin, if you're checking this out, screenshot that when he's drinking out of that and use that for the NFL opener when we get there.
That's funny. Oh yeah, we've got a big slate today, Coach. We got 13 games, and I haven't really seen many weather issues. Are there any on this slate?
Everything looks good. There was just one spot that had a little possibility for some rain, but nothing that I don't think anything's going to affect the slate. I think all 13 games go on the main slate, and we should be fine. Temperatures are warmer, so it's going to be interesting. And I love this. I love the interleague play because you really have to dig in because there's not a lot of BVP. There's the history, with a lot of it's not there. So it makes you do a little extra preparation. So for those of us that have that time, thankfully to prepare, that's what we're going to share with you today. So I want to thank our presenting sponsor, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com, use the promo code Coach Talk, and on your first deposit, they will match you dollar for dollar all the way up to $100. If you want to join us, Friday's the best day of the week to join us. Not only do you get all of our baseball, huge slate, and we have all the incredible basketball tomorrow and this weekend. We're going to have 2 Game 6 possible closeouts tonight. We're going to have a Game 7 with the Mavs. Dirk's all fired up. The Mavs looked fantastic last night. And then you've got all of our PGA golf, too. We have weekend-only golf coming up tonight. So go to dfscoachtalk.com, sign up for that 3-day pass, $10. That's it. You're in there. You got all our Discord. You'll see all our player moves. We do full lineups for Yahoo and Fanduel cores and clipboards for DraftKings. All right, if it's your first time here joining us on the baseball podcast, please hit that thumbs up, the subscribe button, and then the little alert in the upper corner there. That'll let you know when any of our podcasts post. We post 7 days a week in NBA, MLB, and then we have a once-a-week PGA podcast as well, and you don't want to miss any of those when they premiere. Generally, one of us, Crash or I or Deb, will jump in there in the premiere and answer questions as well. Also, if your first time, what we do on this baseball podcast is we go over pitchers, our prize pick selections, our HR call stacks, BVP, some of the main things that people look at when they're building their lineups. Hopefully that gives you a good feel when you're putting that lineup together. And then we're going to do a 2 brains are better than one FanDuel GPP build. A full lineup here. We'll just draft it right here at the end of the podcast. So, all right, no further ado. Pitchers, buy up pitcher today. Mr. Crash, what do you got?
It's going to be Max Scherzer. He's 10-7 on FanDuel, 10-4 on DraftKings. Has a favorable matchup against Seattle outside of J.P. Crawford and Adam Frazier. They haven't really had a lot of success against him. In the last 3 games, Seattle has the 3rd highest strikeout rate at 28.8%. So definitely like Scherzer. There's a lot of options on the slate, though. You also have Max Fried. He's 10-3 on FanDuel, 9,300 on DraftKings. In a small sample size, the Padres have really struggled against him. Even Manny Machado was like 1 for 10 against him. So, and then I also like Kevin Gausman against the Rays. He's 9,800 on FanDuel, 10,000 on DraftKings. So those will be the top 3. But like I said, you've got a lot of options. There's 26 teams playing tonight. So there's a lot of options.
Yeah, I'm going to have the guts to just pick one and not throw 3 on the board like you did. I'm going with Kevin Gossman, and for the reasons you just said. Tampa Bay is 9th in strikeouts in the league. Most of the lineup for Tampa has never seen Kevin Gossman. So when you have 6 of the 9 guys that have 0 at bats against him, he's got some dirty stuff, and I think he's going to dominate these guys. He's 10K on DraftKings, as you said, 9.8 on FanDuel, and 53 on Yahoo. So, it is a pay up. I get it, but you got a group of about 5 or 6 of them to choose from, and Gossman wins the lottery for me. I really like him tonight in this game against Tampa.
His ownership should definitely be lower. I mean, I think most people just pay up $400 for Scherzer, or down, to 9,300 for Fried on DraftKings. I think Gosman's ownership will be a lot lower than the other.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth. As our man Mike S., who is fantastic at building lineups, he's all about. What's the famous word here? What is Mike S. all about? Leverage.
Oh, leverage. Yeah, leverage. Yeah.
And I think Gossman sneaks under the radar today. Everybody's going to see that, and they're going to say, okay, I'm just going to pay the money for Cole, or I'm going to pay the money for Scherzer, and then choose a reasonable SP2. And the guy that's going to get the short end of the stick on ownership to me is Kevin Gossman. And I love him today in this matchup. I feel really good about my top pick. And so I'm going for it. He's going to probably be in 100% of my lineups, Crash.
Yeah, I like it. So for my value play, I'm looking at Drew Rasmussen. He's 7,700 on FanDuel, 8,900 on DraftKings. He hasn't allowed more than 1 run in any of his last 3 starts. Those were against Seattle and Oakland, so they're a little bit, more favorable matchups. This one's going to be at home against Toronto, but it's still a pitcher-friendly ballpark. And he's below 8K on FanDuel, so I like that price on FanDuel especially. He's almost 9,000 on DraftKings, so not as much on DraftKings am I as high on him. But
yeah, and value is a really loose term. Where do you set the line of what a value pitcher is? I look at it as cheaper than I would expect, and with lower ownership than I would expect. You're going to fall off your seat on this one, man. You're never going to believe who I'm going to pick here. Who's the guy I hate the most usually in pitchers, if you remember?
No.
Yep, I'm taking value play Yu Darvish.
Okay.
And the reason I'm taking, he's only 8,500.
I know.
He's usually so expensive. He is 94 on FanDuel, so I'm not as crazy about him there. But I just think 85 is too cheap, and he's only 41 on Yahoo. So he's a steal. And here's the thing: Atlanta's 4th in the league in strikeouts. They have a lot of Ks in that lineup. And even if he gives up a couple of runs, if he strikes out 8 or 9, which I think he will, I think he's going to get to his number. And pairing him with Gossman, those two together, what a 1-2 punch for me. That's what I'm looking at. And leverage wise, I feel like $1 million, because you're not going to find too many lineups that don't either have Cole or Scherzer.
Yeah. And Darvish was really good. I mean, he shut him out. He mowed him down in his start against the Braves earlier this year. So
exactly,
that was at home, but still, the weather's not supposed to be. I was thinking, the weather's probably gonna be really hot because it's really hot down here in Arkansas, but it's really not. It's gonna be like 78, so that's not too bad.
No, I mean it's just as warm in the Midwest in this slate than it is in some of the South, which is unusual, but just one of those weather trends. So hopefully he gets it done for me. I generally, he's my stack against guy, but I just like this spot for him. Again, I don't think he's going to throw a shutout, but you don't need that. Strikeouts are the king, man. You got to get Ks.
Yeah. My fade pitcher is going to be Logan Webb, 9,000 on FanDuel, 9,200 on DraftKings. He went against the Cardinals on Saturday night at home. He pitched 5 innings. He allowed 4 runs. He's allowed 3 or more runs in his last 4 starts. Not the kind of numbers that you want for a 9K pitcher with all the options that we have on this slate.
Yeah, it's a sensible call. And you're going to think it's the GIF where, Homer Simpson gets hit in the head with the baseball and falls into the dirt. But I'm fading Garrett Cole. I know it sounds suicidal, but
that hasn't worked out too well for me.
there's a lot of reasons behind it. Number one, I think he's going to be chalky. People are going to get on DraftKings and they're going to see him like as a 5th or 6th most expensive pitcher. And they're going to say, what? It's Garrett Cole. He can strike out 18 guys.
Yeah.
It's not the same Garrett Cole. I've been chirping about it all along. I know he had a great outing the last time. He's pitched fine, but he's still not the same guy. He gives up the long ball. And he also just, since they've been checking, with the substance thing, if you really look at his stats and dig in, he's not been the phenomenal Cy Young unbeatable pitcher. And I think he's going to be dead chalky. He's expensive, 9.6 on DraftKings, 10K on Fanduel, and a big $54 on Yahoo. Here's the key factor. The White Sox are 29th in the league out of 30 in striking out. So I don't think he's going to get those extra Ks. It's 78 degrees at game time in Chicago. Like you said, what I'm saying, Midwest, just as warm as the South. I think the ball flies okay. Anderson's hitting 500 against him. Abreu 556. And Abreu and Grandal have also taken him deep. So it's not like he's just going to go in there in cruise mode. And I think he's going to be such a fantastic leverage play. Now, again, it's risky. He absolutely could go in there, throw 7 shutout innings with 10 Ks, and then you're chasing some points. But, I think he's just going to perform in an average sense, and it may give us the leg up with a Gausman or Darvish play, which is going to be, it's contrarian, but we're not here to give you 15, the top 15 guys on the optimal list, and everybody plays the same lineup. So anyway, there you go. Pitching. I spent a lot of time on pitching today because I think of all the sports and all the positions, pitching is the most important thing in DFS to me. I mean, that's gonna you can get 45 points or minus 10. Where do you see that swing in any other sport?
Right.
So that's my key.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead.
All right. It's funny that you say that because we could have spent probably all day yesterday on researching pitchers and we wouldn't have come up with Taylor Hearn as the top play.
You're going to laugh at me, but I saw the Rangers some and I followed their coming up being in Dallas and stuff. And I know the kid has a live arm and I'm so mad. And you're going to all say to me, yeah, BS coach. I had him as my SP2 all day long.
Yeah.
And then I pulled him out at the end, just like I did with Max Strus in basketball. Last night, I had to take several Tums and all this. My stomach was so sick after getting off of Hearn and Strus in the 2 sports. But, it happens. What are you going to do?
Yeah. And I had Connor Overton, who also had a really good game. So, and I got on stupid Tyler Anderson. I just thought he wasn't going to be that high owned just because they're facing the Phillies, but he was pretty
chalk and he sucks. And I don't know why we went to him. It makes no sense. You got to stick to your guns. You start looking at all. That's why I'm saying, you can look at 90 million optimizers and projections and 9 million things, and they get you switching when you sort of know where you got to go and stay in your lane. So look at those things, but don't do like you and I did yesterday and let it affect you and switch because that just bites you right in the every time.
Exactly.
All right, let's jump to prize picks so we keep this train moving down the tracks here. I'm going to start right off with a pick just because I'm all in on it. You Darvish over 6 strikeouts.
Okay. I'm going to take Logan Webb under 33.5 fantasy score. He didn't get over that number in the last game against the Cardinals, and he's gone under that number, I think, in 3 of his 5 starts. So I like the under here at St. Louis.
It makes perfect sense to me. I'm torn between 2 guys here, but I'm going to go back to this guy because I mean, it's, you got to have some, as the squirrels carry the nuts around in this game. Yeah. Tim Anderson over 5.5 fantasy score against Garrett Cole, but extra at bat, leading off, walk, steal, you can get there so many ways at 5.5. It's not even funny.
I'm going to take Mookie Betts over 7.5 fantasy score. He is also my BVP play of the day, so that'll lead right into that. $4,200 on FanDuel, $5,500 on DK. He is very expensive, but he's 400 with 8 hits and 20 at bats against Kyle Gibson with 3 home runs. So definitely has solid numbers. As we mentioned, there's not a lot of BVP plays because of all the interleague matchups, but he is one that I was able to find that I like. So Mookie Betts is my BVP play.
I like it. And my BVP play is a little bizarre today, but it's Austin Hayes. He's batting .571 and against this pitcher. And he's, I think Baltimore can score some runs today. And I know that that's that's also contrarian, but I don't like
Rodriguez.
I think that Rodriguez, gives up a lot of barrel. I think some guys that hit line drives like an Austin Hayes, a Cedric Mullins, I think those guys can really get some hits.
Yeah, I like that call.
Yeah, a little bit of an odd one, but I'll take it. All right, so we've knocked out those stacks, and I have 3 different stacks I like today, but there are 26 teams on the main slats.
Right.
So I think we can give a little leverage of taking more than one.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you've got the chalky stacks, the Yankees, the Rockies at Coors against Zach Greinke.
Yeah.
I particularly like the Angels against Dalton Jeffries and the Twins against Aaron Savali. Those would be my 2 top stacks. And I'm trying to find a lower owned stack, but I haven't landed on one yet. But like I said, there's 26 teams, so it's going to take a little bit of time to land on the right one.
Yeah, and it's Colorado, I think, is going to be so blasted chalky, and they have a lot of guys that can disappoint in that lineup. So I'm going to go one-offs with Colorado, but I don't believe I'm going to just go all in and stack them. Just because you just, and again, I say it, and now that's going to happen, but you just haven't seen those big 15-run Colorado games,
Yeah.
And so tonight, chalk it up. They'll probably get 15 runs. I'll tell you what, though, Colorado being 16-15 is sort of amazing to me.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be about 65 degrees, so it's not like it's 90s or anything close to that. So
for Colorado, I have 78 with a 9-mile-an-hour wind, and from RotoWire, but I don't know.
I went to 8 p.m., which is when I think that game starts, and it says 66 degrees.
Okay. Well, that would be better for us if we're not stacking there. I'm not going to say to go away from the Yankee stack. They're one of mine. I mean, I get it. It's going to be chalk mania there. I don't know how deep I'll go because they're expensive, but Vince Velasquez, meatballs.
Yeah, after seeing Dylan Cease, I mean, I know Dylan Cease gave up some runs for sure, but man, he's also mowing them down with strikeouts too. So
he did. They do strike out, but I think Cease is much better pitcher than Velasquez.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And so I'm expecting some homers for the Yankees. So you have to have some ownership there, in my opinion. Yeah. And my favorite stack, again, I'm going to mess with some Orioles, but I like the Mets. Did you say the Mets?
I did look at the Mets a little bit too. They're up against Marco Gonzalez.
Yes. And I like the right-handed sticks, Canna, Lindor, Alonso, Davis, Marte, Escobar, McCann. They're all going to hit from the right side against Lopez or Gonzalez. And I think that, the way they've hit as a team and with Scherzer on the mound because he pitches so fast, I like the feel. So I'm all New York tonight on my stacks.
Okay. I like that. I do like the Mets, and that may be where I go back to because as we just mentioned, when we get off of those plays that we like initially, it always bites you in the butt. So
yeah. And then this is cool because you can't take any Milwaukee Brewers because they're one of the 2 early games.
Yeah. At first I thought you were going to say your fade pitcher was Corbin Burns, and I was going to be like, no.
Cincy, Pittsburgh, and Milwaukee, Miami start at 6:35 and 6:40, so they can go pound salt. They're dumb for starting early, so they're sit outs today. All right, who's your HR call, Crash, and then we'll build this brains.
Since you brought that up, I do want to say I do like Mike Moustakas to hit a home run in the early.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get the moose antlers out.
Yep. I like Mookie Betts. As I mentioned yesterday, I went with Cody Bellinger yesterday. Worked for me. Got another Dodger here in Betts. 3 home runs and 8 hits against Kyle Gibson. So I like the Mookie Betts here.
And I'm doing a little chasing, buddy. I'm taking Trey Mancini again against the lefty Rodriguez, who, like I said, I think stinks. I like little mini Baltimore stacks in here. Mullins, Mancini, Santander, Hayes.
Sure.
But at least Mancini's seen Rodriguez. He's batting .308 against him with 2 dingers. So,
all right.
Little Trey Mancini smoke, hopefully.
Why don't you take the first pick, Coach?
The first pick of the 2022 FanDuel draft, I'm going right straight to the position that I love to take, $9,800 Kevin Gausman. I've been talking about him all day.
Okay. Let me find my tournament entry here.
Oh, I was too fast for you. Thought I was going to stall.
All right. So we've got Kevin Gausman, like that. I will take try and find a little bit of value here.
I can take a second pick if you want to take 2.
This will be contrarian. Alec Bohm against Clayton Kershaw.
Who is it?
Alec Bohm against Clayton Kershaw. Looks like he's scheduled to lead off.
Yeah, that's a neat pick. I like that. Can we put him at third base?
He is.
Okay. I'm going to take trigger Trey Mancini. Like I said, I think he goes deep today.
Okay. First base.
That's why I want to
base or utility. What do you want to do? First base.
I want to put him at first base. Why is it not letting me put Bohm at third? Why is it? He's first and third, right? Let's see.
I think he's just third.
No, he's first and third.
You're right. Yeah.
So your pick, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna take who's pitching for Colorado? Do you know?
Yep. The Colorado pitcher today is Mr. Kyle Freeland, 1-3 with a 394.
I'm going to take Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop.
I like Bobby Witt Sr. I used to have him on my squad a lot. Bobby Witt Jr., how much?
32.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go to I'm going to spend a little money. I hope you don't mind.
That's fine.
I just want to make sure he's not too much. I'm going to go with Starling Marte, 3,500 Mets.
Starling Marte, 3,500. Okay. I'm going to go with, let's see, I think it's a little bit of a value play. Which is he? Eduardo Escobar, 2,800 Mets.
Escobar, okay, got a little Met stack going. I like that. Let's see here. 33 per gentleman. Gonna go back to now. I'm not gonna go there. I don't know if this would hurt us money wise. Does it make it feasible? All right, I'm just gonna do it. That means we're gonna have to really be cheap on the last couple of guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go Aaron Judge.
Okay.
So we have a second baseman and an outfield, $28.50 per spot.
I'm going to take oh, goodness, where is it? You can tell I don't use this website a lot. I usually use the app. $800 Juan Yepez utility.
Okay. How much is he again?
28.
And how do you? It's YP.
YEP.
YEP. Yeah, that's a hard one.
That leaves you 2,900.
Oh, why do I have Escobar in as utility? I got this jacked up. Escobar, I need to move over. Second. Okay, I have an outfielder for 2,900, and then we are complete. The $2,900 outfielder.
You can take Cody Bellinger. I don't know why he's 2,900.
That is pretty cheap. Do we know really, is Cleveland with their situation with COVID? I wonder what's going on there.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what their situation is.
You know, I'm gonna go with I've been taking this guy a couple times and he usually gets it done for me. He did. I have a soft spot because he was part of my 15K win last year. You know who it is.
Alex Verdugo.
Yeah. He just finds a way to squeeze one in at low owned. So maybe he yanks one down the line there in Texas.
That'd be nice.
93 degrees in Texas. So
nice.
All right. So our two brains are better than one lineup is completed. Gaussman, Mancini, Escobar, Bohm, Witt Jr., Marte, Judge, Verdugo, and Yepez.
Yep.
Yepez. All right, man. We got it. That is it. So hopefully that gives everybody a good look, a good idea of their builds. Good weather tonight, pretty much all over the place. And we should have some really exciting games. So great time to be involved with Prize Picks, prizepicks.com. Put the promo code in Coach Talk, and you get a $100 match or $50 match all the way up to $100. Whatever you put in, they will match you. We got the end of the podcast. Perfect timing for the mailman.
Yeah.
So I got to close the door. This has been the consistent theme is mailman at the end of the podcast.
Yeah, I know.
So go there. Coach Talks the promo code, and you get that match. And then if you want to join us, dfscoachtalk.com. You can sign up for as little as a 3-day pass for $10. Twitter, we're at DFS Coach Talk. He is at JP Davis 1982, and I am at Joe Sarvati. Check us out on Twitter as well. Give us some comments on the way out. Thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. Click that little alarm in the corner. That lets you know when any of our podcasts post. And join in for the basketball pod coming up here in just a little bit. It's my turn for the Shiny Dome. And I can't even blame Klay Thompson because he came out firing. He was looking fantastic. And Golden State got beat by like 120. Yeah. And he didn't get to play enough or he'd have coasted in. So I will reluctantly unmask the hat for our basketball pod. So hide the children, phone the neighbors, tell them not to put their computers on. But, you've been fair warned. All right. Any final words, Crash?
No, just, stay in the Discord like always. We're going to have the latest updates for everybody. Any weather, COVID, whatever at this point, that could change the slate. So.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Have an absolutely fantastic Friday the 13th. Watch out for any masked men with knives running through the streets. And we'll be good. So hopefully some takedowns tonight, some incredibly exciting basketball, along with a huge baseball card. I'm going to have to go to the multiple televisions tonight. It's just too good of stuff to not have
on your iPad and all that out.
I'll be balancing and watching everything everywhere. So,
yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. And we'll be back again tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB, DFS, and Prize Picks.